One of the key concepts that's going to be surrounding this course is content marketing. So we're going to have a brief overview of content marketing here. I have an in-depth social media marketing course where we go into this in much greater depth and talk about it in its broader application. But I just want to touch on it here now so that we can understand why content marketing or the concept is important to us. The way I like to describe it is like this. If you plant a single flower in a field, how many bees do you think you're going to get? If you plant multiple flowers in a field, how many bees do you think you'll get now? And that's one of the things with blog writing and article writing. The more stuff you get out there, the more stuff you create, the more chance you have of attracting more bees. More flowers, more bees. More blogs, more articles, more readers. And with online marketing, we always come back to the idea of the law of critical mass. And the way I explain the law of critical mass is like this. Imagine you've got a snowball on the top of a hill. And you get that little snowball and you start rolling it down this very, very tall hill. As you go down the hill, that snowball will get larger and larger. And you have to push and direct and steer. But as it gets bigger, after a while it starts to reach critical mass. It starts to roll down the hill on its own accord, and all you have to do is direct it. Eventually, and in some cases, that will become an avalanche. And that's the way online marketing works. And that's why you must commit to your content. You must commit to your blog writing long term. It's no good starting a blog tomorrow and then in 3 months from now giving up. You need at least a year for your blog to start creating impact in terms of sharing it online and getting people reading it and getting picked up by the search engines. So I want that in the back of your mind. But the people that succeed with blog writing are the people that learn the craft and then commit to their content long term. And one of the things with content marketing is that education is a key engagement tool. So whenever you're helping someone to understand something, discover something, learn something, when you educate them, they're much more likely to engage with your content. Yes, you can go out there and share your opinion about stuff, but the most powerful type of content in a marketing sense is content that educates, and we'll go into that a lot more as we go along. I just want to touch on this first. Blogs versus articles. Essentially, they're the same thing. But before we discuss that, let's understand what evergreen content is. Evergreen content is a blog or an article or any type of consumable digital content online, it could be video, it could be podcast, that is evergreen. And what that means is that the point of writing it, it stays relevant for a long time afterwards. Now, what people will do is they will have a very successful blog and say it's on software. As the software is updated and they get a lot of traffic to that blog, they will update that blog and they will keep it up to date. And that's a good practice to have. Your most popular blogs should always be looked after. So the question with blogs versus articles is, do you need to date your article? Now, opinion is split on this, even in SME Heroes. Sarah, who's in charge of content, she likes to see a date. I don't. I think that when you put a blog out there and you've got a date on it, you're saying to people it's no longer relevant. So you really need to think about that for yourself. Does my blog or my article need to be dated? And I take the position, unless it's time specific and time sensitive, I would always go the article route over a blog. Now, blogs tend to be time-based commentary from an individual or organization. So that being the case, If you want to write time-based commentary and share that to a social following, then blogging may well be what you need to do. Articles, however, are by nature evergreen. So if you want evergreen content to sit out there in search and be found, I would suggest you write an article. And I've played with this, and I tend to get much more engagement on an article. And here's another note. There is nothing worse than an out-of-date blog. So think about your commitment to the amount of writing you can actually do. If you don't know that you can update your blog at least once a month, then write articles. Because no one will be able to tell when the last article was written. So your website won't be dated. And a lot of people start blogs with the best intentions, but in reality, what ends up happening is they get bored, they get disillusioned because maybe they're not getting the engagement they want, and they give up on the blog. So we want to avoid that if possible. So that's another reason why I would suggest articles. I'm not telling you what is best. I'm telling you what is my personal preference and the reasons for that. So you choose. If you want to do a blog, commit to it. But if you're not sure you're going to commit to it, articles are probably better for you in the long run.